This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right.
What's up, Bo?
You doing good?
I'm good, man.
Somebody was just asking about the Matareza thing, and he was like, he was asking, maybe the Bills should have held on to him before you kick players off the team. And he probably doesn't work for a big corporation, and he doesn't get these kind of things. You've worked for him. You work for him. I've worked for him. And I don't blame the Bills for letting the guy go, because if you hold on to a guy that was allegedly part of a rape allegation, gang rape, whatever, so 2 years later, we find out that he's been cleared. But for 2 years, the Bills would be getting absolutely pummeled. Advertisers would be pulling away from them. They would be criticized. They would be ridiculed that, oh, you're only hanging on to him because he's talented, but he's an alleged rapist. And so in this corporate world, you have to understand that these corporations have to protect themselves. And at that moment, until now, none of us knew what went on. We only knew of the allegations. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things. And until you work in the corporate world, you won't understand that. You know what I mean? We just saw this ESPN reporter call another lady, the C word, and brother.
Yeah.
They got no time for that, dude.
Right.
They got no time. There's too much money on the line. There's too much bad press on the line. They have to protect themselves. So while Matareza may have been treated unfairly, I understand completely on the corporate side what the Buffalo Bills had to do. Correct?
Yeah. This is an interesting situation because we always see it, the front end of the accusation and sort of a guilty until proven innocent society. And if it is true, the reports that he was not in the room, then he should be given every vindication and more that he didn't get, and so the problem is when things are out, when it's the internet, it's hard to take it back. So I don't know if he, like I said, this is all under the assumption that what the reports are correct. He is innocent. He didn't have anything to do with it. If that's the case, then he never gets his good name back. Right. Even if eventually some team takes a chance on him and gives him a job, probably does not make the money he made from when he got drafted, probably does not have the clarity of his name that he had previously. But in the same token, I'm with you. There's a period of unknown, and for teams, it's a lot of PR. It's, this is not worth the hit that we're going to take.
They could have lost millions in advertising just over the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they were never going to get that money back. Even if they were then cleared, you see our guy you still lost 2 years of revenue from people that backed out. So, you just can't, unfortunately, when you're these corporations, you can't take these chances. You just cannot take these chances. And if you do, there's going to be some serious backlash. It just kind of goes with the territory, man. It's just one of those. So I kind of understand on both sides. You feel for Areza if this is true. Obviously, you definitely, just like was it the Duke kids? Was it Duke polo? What was it?
Yeah.
Water polo?
Lacrosse.
Right?
About 10 years ago or so. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It was they were accused and then they were falsely accused, correct? If I remember correctly how the story went, right? Those
definitely
kids
evolved to where there was a lot more uncertainty about it. I don't know the full particulars, but that sounds about right.
I think the Duke kids were then after cleared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just, and by the way, this is the sad part of it. This happens all the time. People go to jail for things they didn't do. People get accused for things they didn't do. And then they've got to live in that shadow of doubt and uncertainty. And what? And let me tell you something. What's the most screwed up part, Cam? Is that now teams, even though the kid's talented and all that stuff, there'll be some teams that will still not take a chance on him just because well, punter and former accused rapist or something like that. You know what I mean? And so just that tag of he was, you know, wrongfully accused of rape or whatever, you know, that kind of stuff. They'll want to stay away even from that side of the PR. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, sometimes it's just not worth the PR hit, the risk, even if it's not true. Um, those are elements that you have to, it's hard to get your good name back. And so, especially for that position, I think quarterbacks get a lot more leeway. Star players get a lot more leeway. When you're a punter, you're one of 32, and you can find another punter elsewhere. And so teams ask themselves, do I really want to deal with the backlash, the stress for a punter? Probably not. And I think that if, like I said, if everything is true, that's not fair for him.
I'm with you. You are you're way too young for this, but you might have known a little something about this. Did you ever hear about the case of Robert Wagner and Natalie Wood?
No.
Okay, so these are famous actors that were married, and she ends up dying in a
Okay.
boating accident out in the
Okay.
ocean. And so lots of people have claimed that Robert Wagner killed her. You know what I mean? But it could never
Okay.
really be proven. You know
Right.
what I mean? But
Right.
it's been a stigma that Robert Wagner has had to carry for the rest of his life after that, even though it was never proven or anything like that. But it's a doubt that lots of people have always had, and if you ever want to, catch an interesting documentary or something, the
Mm-hmm.
death of Natalie Wood, might be something that's kind of really Hollywood historic and that kind of stuff. But it's one of those things that in life, and it doesn't matter, bro, sports or entertainment or whatever, you end up carrying that stigma with you, even if you didn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff. So
No, it
yeah,
makes sense. I gotta go check it out. I have not seen that, but that's the life, that's the world we live in right now.
yeah, I'm with you there. All right. As I've asked the other guys, we are, I guess, waiting for June for Miami to make moves, correct?
Yeah, typically this is a lighter period. I mean, you see teams make minor moves. Right now, they're going through a lot of their rookie mini camps. They're going through OTAs in a couple of weeks. And so sometimes you'll see players on the field and you'll get a better understanding of where your roster is. Guys who maybe came in out of shape or guys who came in a lot better shape. Some of the rookies impressing you. And you say, okay, well, I don't need this vet anymore. One of these guys are going to make the team. And you can make it a move there. But I don't know if you see anything substantial until, closer to minicamp, which is in June. Obviously, the Dolphins have that money coming in from Byron Jones after June 1st. There's still, the Christian Wilkins potential extension on the board. And so I think probably as you get into June, July is when you probably would hope to see that veteran offensive tackle maybe, or that, Christian Wilkins extension, whatever other additional moves they'll make prior to training camp.
I don't think it'll ever happen because I'll go out on a limb. He looks like the kind of dude that really walked away and is probably happy with it. But what'd you think of the whole Andrew Luck talk that's come up the last couple of days, and Irsay obviously putting the kibosh on it? But the talk that Washington may have tried to kick the tires on it last year or something along those lines. What are you hearing about all that?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything definitive on that. If Washington did kick the tires, Jim Irsay made it clear that he will come after them for tampering.
Of course.
And we've seen a couple tampering cases. One here,
Yeah.
we saw one with Philly in Arizona where they had to make a draft pick swap. So I think Jim Irsay is thinking about getting them an extra draft pick out of this, if so. But, Andrew Luck's been out of the league, I think, 3 years now, something like that.
I think so. Maybe,
Yeah, maybe
yeah.
longer.
This might be his fourth coming up,
Yeah, it's
right?
like maybe it's going on 4. I think the
Yeah.
guy's done. You see him pop up occasionally. On, like, I think the last time I saw was maybe one of the college football games. He was on the sideline talking, and he looks thin. He looks like he's living his life outside of football, and so it shocked us when it happened. And all of us are probably waiting for the other shoe to drop. I think that the other shoe is already dropped. He's living his life. And so I think like any team that has quarterback issues, you probably ring the bell just to check. I'm sure Peyton Manning has probably got some calls in years. I'm sure Philip Rivers has got some calls, after he was done. And these are older quarterbacks. I'm sure Tom Brady, if a team loses their quarterback and they need to make a Super Bowl run, maybe they'll call him, right? It doesn't mean that you answer. It's just, it doesn't mean that you do anything about it. It's just, you call, it doesn't hurt unless you're getting, plug for tampering, then it hurts.
So what'd you think of the Titans trying to trade your boy this past offseason, Ryan Tannehill?
I saw some of those reports. I don't know anything about that firsthand, but I do know, and I've told you this before, he's probably entering his last year as a Titan. Maybe it's the offseason, maybe it's the midseason, maybe it's just like a cut after the season. But they've already set the stage for this is going to be Will Levis, or I guess Malik Willis is still in the mix technically too. One of those guys, their team. But you draft Will Levis early in the second round.
You believe anything that Malik is in?
No. He's still on the roster, so you have to mention.
You drafted Will Levis, you kind of told Malik, yeah, we screwed up with you, kid.
Sorry. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what they're saying. So Will Levis is the guy who's going to be most likely their 2024 starter. And so, yeah, the problem with this team is
what is wrong with Malik? Because it's not like he's a bad kid. So is he just mentally?
He's a very good kid. So he was always seen as a project, which is why I know that
he like
really
seen
this project. He was the way he ran in college. He was a lot of one read and run type quarterback. That does not work in the NFL. You have to be able to go through your progressions. I think the game was really fast for him last year, whereas it just moved too fast. So he was late on a lot of decisions. His timing was off, and he liked to escape and run. And Mike Vrabel kept preaching to him to stay in the pocket, and that just wasn't the element of his game. So the question becomes, can he grow into that, or will he always be this? Which is why I still mention him, because 2-3, maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, Malik becomes somebody that's a viable quarterback, in some capacity. But last year, they did not trust him. They signed Josh Dobbs off the streets and started him, I think, on 6 days of practice time. And that showed just their lack of trust there. So I think for him, just the inefficiency within the offense, everything slowed down when Malik was in there. He had big splash plays in preseason where he's making the 60-yard bombs down the field. He'd run for 50 yards, and you're like, wow, if we can bottle this, put this in a game, and do this consistently, we've got a really good quarterback. The problem is he would only do it maybe 2 or 3 times a game. The rest of the game would be a lot of indecision. So I think that's why you are where you are now with Will Levis as the likely successor to Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, what are you hearing about the Dolphins' schedule, man? I keep hearing that they're opening up against the Patriots on the road.
Is that the 17th year in a row that would do that? It's funny. I
was really praying for a KC Miami Thursday night start.
Yeah, who knows?
And the league also, and the league will get guaranteed Tua, because he's going to play in that first game for sure. So, I think he's going to be smart this year and handle things the right way and take care of himself. But if you have any concerns and you want a marquee matchup to kick off this, and I get it, KC, Philadelphia reunion, all that makes all the sense in the world. But, man, those two offenses to open it up on a Thursday night would be a lot of fun. But I keep hearing that we're stuck with the stinking Patriots.
Yeah, I don't know. First of all, I wouldn't be able to leak schedule early if I did know. I don't know.
You would get in trouble to break that story. You can't break that.
I would. That is not something the league wants NFL Network to put out early. We will put it out on our 8 p.m. Thursday schedule release show. But I will say this: there's a lot of fun matchups with KC. That Dolphins game is going to be fun whenever it is. I don't know that we'll see a Super Bowl rematch in Week 1. I don't know that that's the route they go, but they have a few different options. The Bengals are an option there for KC. The Bills are an option. The Dolphins are an option. They can always do a divisional game, with the Raiders or the Chargers. The thing about the Week 1 game because people are going to watch regardless. So you don't want to burn your biggest bullet, but you also want an intriguing storyline. I think fans would love to switch it up and not have the Patriots week 1, maybe, but wouldn't you rather have a team you can get a win against? Like, do you want the Bills week 1? Is that a better matchup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love it.
You would love the Bills week 1?
Yeah, bring it on, dude. I'm not that dude. No,
hey, maybe that's a Sunday or Monday night game, you know?
Bring it on, bro.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Or the Jets or Aaron Rodgers. Do you want Aaron Rodgers week 1? Yeah.
Bring it on.
You just don't want Mac Jones, Bill Belichick, and the Patriots.
No, there's no sexiness to that. Tua owns Belichick. He hasn't lost to them yet in his career. So I'm just like, it's just the Patriots bring nothing to the table, dude.
A win,
at least the Jets now with Aaron Rodgers. I think you can beat anybody in the division. I'm sorry, like I told you, I get it. I'm Mr. Hater for 20 years, and now I'm Mr. Homer for 20 years. I mean, for the last 2 years. I think the Dolphins are the best team in the division, dude.
We shall see. I think it's a three-headed race, and it wouldn't shock me if any of those 3 teams, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, win a division. As of now, I still think the Bills are the team to beat.
Well, of course they're the team to beat for sure, because they have to be given.
The Dolphins closed that gap in some of their offseason moves. They got to prove it on the field, and the quarterback's got to stay healthy. That's they got
the defensive coordinator that I think is definitely going to make.
He should improve that defense. They were 24th last year. If you can improve that defense to around top 10-ish, top 12-ish, and Tua stays healthy, there's no reason why they can't be neck and neck to potentially beat the Bills and win that AFC East.
Yep. Pat in Nashville goes, Natalie Wood couldn't swim. That plus 0.14 alcohol level and painkillers, disaster waiting to happen. Christopher Walken could only hear cowbells on the yeah, that's right. Christopher Walken was in another room on that yacht while all that happened. Wow. So, but the question is, Pat,
Natalie Wood. Okay, I'll look it up.
Who fed her the painkillers and the alcohol? Anyway,
I gotta watch this. This is intriguing. I have some time now because it's off season, so I gotta catch up. You would not believe me. I cannot catch up on shows and movies throughout the year. So I literally have a list of about 60 to 70 shows and movies just kind of in my notes app that people have recommended to me. Multiple people have recommended to me that I should put on my list. And this time of year comes between now and like a week before training camp. I just start trying to pound as many as I can out. You know, this is the
difference here. That's all made up shit.
Yeah,
this is real life.
Some of them are based on true stories. I like documentaries too, and I like the Boston Marathon is on my list. I haven't seen the Boston Marathon one, right? That's on my list based on a true story. So it's not all fake stories, but this one's a real story.
Real. Yeah. This is a 60+ year drama of people. Did he really kill her or not? This, that, because obviously, and she was beautiful too. Now,
so what's the movie called?
No, it's not a movie.
No, I'm saying, what's the documentary? Like, what's the
just put Robert Wagner, Natalie Wood murder. Let's just put that.
But I'm saying it's something that I can watch, right?
Yes. Just go to YouTube, and I'm sure there's going to be like a crap load of documentaries about it and investigations and all that kind of stuff, and how much it's in the dark, the questions and all that. So yeah, it's
okay.
Just check it out. That's one of those, but this is like real shit, man.
Yeah,
that everybody's been talking about for years and years and years. So there you go.
I'm writing it down so I'll remember.
All right. Besides catching up on the Robert Wagner, Natalie Wood, supposed death drama, what else you got going on in the NFL Network this week?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be out of town for a few days. My little brother actually graduates college tomorrow from the University of Houston. So I've got a flight at about 5:00 today down to Houston, bringing the family there, be hanging out there through Mother's Day week. And then I get back in tow early next week, and we'll start talking some ball again. And so, I'll probably be around here for some OTAs in May.
You're gonna
And
be here for rookie mini camp, so you can go out there, see them stretch for 20 minutes.
No, that's not on my itinerary. Oh, I have better things to do. No offense to the Dolphins rookies, but I'm gonna hang out with my family rather than spend 20 minutes out there in practice. So,
and learn absolutely nothing.
Nothing. I mean, we're gonna learn nothing in OTAs too, but I'll at least be there for those. We'll have the full team there. We'll do that. Mini camp, we learn a little bit more, but really training camp is where it's at. So these next 2-3 months, we'll provide content, we'll provide updates. Really, things don't matter until late July again.
I know. I just can't wait for X and Waddle against Jalen.
Oh man, that's gonna be. That's why I said training camp. Like we'll see teasers of it in mini camp and OTAs, but training camp when the pads are on, those. Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Those two corners and those two receivers, that shit's gonna be fun, dude.
And they're gonna be talking like Jalen and Tyreek. Is interesting differences, right? Tyreek and Jalen.
But Waddle and X really aren't necessarily like.
That's what I'm saying. It's complete opposites. You got Tyreek and Jalen who are going to be yapping, and then you got X and Jalen Waddle who are just going to be going about it quietly. You know, it's an interesting juxtaposition. You know,
but it's going to be maybe one of the most entertaining battles in all of camp. That thing is just going to be so much fun, man.
Yeah.
All right, follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolfe and catch his work there at the NFL Network, and catch him twice a week here with our KSDT CPA Miami Dolphin and NFL report. Cam, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
And don't forget, folks, if you haven't done your taxes and you forgot, you're a little busy, you're a little nervous, don't know what to do, you got to do your personal taxes, you got to do your business taxes right there. Use the QR code, reach out to you don't even have to leave anywhere. You can probably do everything from your house, your office, whatever. Reach out to our people at KSDT CPAs. They'll take care of you, Alan, all the great people out there, man. Yoandri, ask for Yoandri. He's in the crypto department. He's exceptional. Call him 305-670-3370. They've got offices in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. They're going to open up one in North Carolina, man. Great people, incredible organization, top 200 accounting firm according to Forbes, baby. So it's a company that you can trust. Beautiful offices in Dadeland, in Weston, and in West Palm Beach. 305-670-3370. Use that QR code right there for KSDT CPAs.